Is it completely crazy to say that Billy Butcher and Hughie Campbell, the two guys who've dedicated their entire lives to putting Homelander 6 feet under, are the closest things he has to actual friends? I know, friend is a strong word, but just listen and let me explain, because the dynamic between Homelander, Butcher, and Hughie is arguably the best and most complex part of The Boys. To understand this, you have to look at Homelander's incredibly messed up daily life. Think about every single person he interacts with. They all fall into one of three categories. Category 1. They're absolutely terrified of him and will never go against literally anything he says. Think The Deep or Ashley. Category 2. They manipulate him to further their own goals, like Victoria Newman or Stan Edgar, who just treat him like a corporate product. Category 3. They blindly worship him. Because he was raised in a cold, sterile lab and deprived of any normal human socialization, Homelander is emotionally stunted and completely isolated. He has literally zero authentic relationships. Nobody's ever just real with him. Except for Butcher and Hughie. Let's start with Butcher. At the beginning of the series, this was just pure one-sided hatred on Butcher's part, and Homelander didn't even know who he was. But as time goes on, it turns into a bizarre mutual obsession. Look at this insane scene in Season 3 when Homelander literally just lands on Butcher's patio. He doesn't blast the door down, he doesn't threaten him. He just walks in, and they have a weirdly calm heart-to-heart. Homelander realizes that out of everyone in the entire world, Butcher is the one person who was going to tell it to him straight. Butcher has absolutely no powers, but he's completely ready to die, which means he isn't afraid to look at Homelander in the eye and tell him to fuck off. And Homelander respects that. Honestly, it amuses him. When Butcher tells Homelander that all he wants to do is hurt him, that is 100% pure honesty. It's a twisted breath of fresh air for a guy drowning in a corporate yes men. Homelander and Butcher are two sides of the exact same coin. Butcher is essentially the human Virgil of Homelander, and Homelander is what Butcher would be if you gave him godlike superpowers. They are both narcissistic, manipulative, and driven to extremes. Homelander needs an enemy like Butcher just to have a sense of identity. This is the moment their weird little dynamic goes from psychological to physical. Butcher and Hughie shoot up Temp V, leveling the playing field. For the first time in his entire life, Homelander is in a fight where he isn't entirely in control. He gets hit hard, and you can see this look on his face. He's shocked, but he's also kind of exhilarated. He's finally facing equals. The fight is brutal, but notice how Homelander doesn't just instantly laser a hole through everyone's head when he gets the brief upper hand. He actually tries to choke out Soldier Boy and starts chatting with him. He loves the engagement. When Homelander realizes Butcher survived a laser to the chest and has powers now, it completely blows his mind. This isn't just a fight to the death anymore. It's the ultimate culmination of their scorched earth promise. Homelander actually looks forward to this rivalry. When he x-rays Butcher in Season 4 and realizes Butcher is dying of a brain tumor, he almost looks disappointed that they won't get their final boss battle. He actually cares about this rivalry more than anything else going on involved. But what about Hughie? If Butcher is Homelander's dark reflection, Hughie is the wild card of humanity that Homelander just can't figure out. Hughie and Butcher are already a bonded pair, the emotional core to show. So Homelander naturally inserts himself into the dynamic as an opposing force. But while Homelander initially sees Hughie as just the weak, insignificant man, Homelander has to eventually recognize Hughie's bizarre courage. There's this incredibly telling scene from the Freedom Camp where Homelander actually approaches Hughie with a genuine question.
Why would Starlight and Butcher piss away their lives to try and rescue you?
He genuinely doesn't understand why Starlight and Butcher are risking their lives for a guy like him. And Hughie gives him a real, authentic answer.
Because I do it for them.
Homelander isn't being worshipped, and he isn't being managed by a PR team. He's just having a real conversation. In this weird psychological triangle, Homelander represents absolute unchecked power. Butcher represents moral corruption and vengeance, and Hughie represents the last shred of humanity. So no, Homelander isn't going to invite Hughie and Butcher over to hang out. They literally want to tear each other limb from limb. But for a lonely, emotionally stunted god, who has been treated like a lab rat and a corporate mascot his entire life, the guys actively trying to murder him are the only ones treating him like a real person. They don't manipulate him for Vought, and they don't kiss the ground he walks on. They challenge him, they understand him, and they stand against him. And in Homelander's sick, twisted world, that is the closest thing to friendship he will ever experience. But what do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments below. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives.